Hi guys, it's Perry, and today at XP Corner we're going to be looking at the Toshiba gaming laptop. This particular laptop is going to be for the gaming series laptops from Toshiba called the Qosmio. And so I believe the exact model is going to be the Toshiba Qosmio X875-7390. And as I said before, it's just going to be a 3D gaming laptop from Toshiba, and we're just going to take a quick look at it. So first thing to know, I'll just tell you a few specs. So this computer comes with an i7 quad-core processor. I believe it's going to be the 3630QM. And it's got 16 gigabytes of RAM. Plenty RAM on this computer. 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. I believe it's going to be about 1600 megahertz. It's also going to have a 2 terabyte hard drive, two separate 1 terabyte hard drives. The first being the primary hard drive is going to also come with an 8 gigabyte cache of solid state memory. So basically it's going to give you that SSD like boot speed and quick launch of applications and going to sleep faster. Basically just, anything a solid state would do. Only it's also going to have the full capacity of a terabyte, which would otherwise be a very expensive hard drive. So it's pretty nice. A few other things it's going to have is 4 USB 3.0 ports. So every single USB port on this computer is going to be 3.0 super speed. So extremely fast data transfer rates. It's also going to have a full HD. I believe this is going to be an LED backlit display with 120 hertz refresh rate. So great for you gamers out there. As I said before, it's going to be the 3D, so it's going to have the full HD with 3D. Awesome NVidia 3D Vision 2 active glasses, not the Bluetooth. This one's going to have infrared, so you got to keep the line of sight, but it's going to come with the at least it's active. So if you lose the line of sight, it will turn off, but it's still great 3D from those glasses. What else about it? It's going to be Windows 8, my particular model, not the Windows 8 Pro, so a few less features than the professional edition of Windows 8, but still very, very nice if you like Windows 8. It has a full-size backlit keyboard, red backlight, kind of like the, I guess, the Alienware from Dell. So it's pretty cool. I'll show you guys that later. Has a Blu-Ray Burner. Fantastic. I'm very excited about the Blu-Ray Burner. So burns 3D movies perfectly, plays DVDs and Blu-rays and all that stuff superbly. A multi-gesture touchpad, which is great for Windows 8 if you've gotten used to like all the pinching to zoom and the swiping to open the charms menu. All that stuff can be done with this touchpad. What else? It's also going to have the Harman Kardon quad speakers, as you see here, going to be in the top and left hand corners of the computer screen. Zoom in right there and you'll see the Harman Kardon. No subwoofer like that of the HP DV series with the Beats audio, but let me tell you, this computer has some of the best sounds I've experienced on a laptop, period. Better than most high-end computers. I would say this is probably the second or third favorite. Yeah, we'll say third favorite that I've experienced yet on any laptop. That's including the MacBook Pro, the Dell XPS with the JBL speakers and sub. Only being beat by, I would say, the Acer Iconia, which I also did a review on, had spectacular sound, and my HP DV7 series, NV DV7 series now, which has the Beats audio with a nice big subwoofer. No subwoofer on this one, like I said before, but I believe that when you hear the sound, it's like there's an internal sub, so don't really know much about that yet, but let me tell you, the highs and the mids on this computer and the 3D surround sound is spectacular on this computer. Great sound from this huge computer. Another thing about this computer, it weighs about 8 pounds. It says 7.5, but it feels more like 10 when you start to carry it around. So very hefty laptop, huge footprint, tons of juice. Not a very big battery. I'll also show you that as well, but let's get to just what's on the side. Let's see with the ports. As you'll see here, we've got the headphone jack, far left. Then we've got the mic input, which can also be used to like an audio in. So if you had your cell phone and you wanted to play it through your speakers, you could just plug it up through the mic and I believe set it configured a certain way and it will play through your laptop speakers, which are phenomenal, as I said before. Here you see the two USB 3.0 super speed ports, which will also come featured with the charge and play, so you can actually charge your devices when this computer is asleep, much like that of the Sony series. HDMI and VGA. Here you'll see the fans, the sort of vents, blow out all the hot air. And let's say this thing is kind of like a space heater, because it gets really hot. And you've got the AC adapter, proprietary, very different from what you would expect from most laptops. But it works. It works very well. It's supposed to be auto sensing. Not exactly sure what that means, but Toshiba says it's auto sensing. You've got the LAN right here, and the Kensington lock on the far left. Again, the two USB 3.0 super speeds, and that wonderful Blu-Ray Burner. Awesome. On the front, we've got the, if you can see, what is it, the SD slot for your memory cards. And you've got the 3 status lights for the charging and the battery power, as well as your wireless capability. And I'll close it just so you can see them. And when the computer is on, this glows red, that Qosmio, whatever you pronounce it. That's the emblem on the back. It's pretty much nothing. And around the entire computer, there's like this glossy red frame. It kind of looks pretty cheap and plasticky. And it even feels a little cheap and plasticky. But let me tell you, there's nothing cheap about this computer. Very well built, very well constructed, extremely heavy. I cannot stress how heavy this laptop is. Very heavy computer. On the back, you'll see the hard drive bay, which houses the 2 terabytes. Again, it's going to be 1 single terabyte. So 1 terabyte for the primary hard drive, and then another terabyte for the secondary hard drive. Both are going to be 5400 RPM. They could have stepped it up and did a 7200 RPM, but I'm not complaining. Again, the Windows 8 sticker and the service tag and serial number on the bottom. So be sure to keep that safe. I can show you as well. This is the battery, so you can actually unlock and lock the battery. Decent feature. Battery life on this computer sucks. Worst battery I've ever experienced on any computer. We'll get to that later. But yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know about this computer. Except, like I said, the graphics. The graphics card, we got to talk about that. It comes featured with the NVidia, I believe it's going to be the GeForce X875-7390 3D version. And that's going to have 3 gigabytes of discrete 3 gigabytes of RAM, GDDR5 RAM for this particular graphics card. 3 gigabytes dedicated specifically to the graphics, all from NVIDIA, which supports the 3D. So with that being said, let's go ahead and open this computer up. And I think it's set to come on automatically. If not, yeah. And just for comparison, I've got my Sony Vaio SVS 15127PXB model here, and so you can see these two. Both of these are going to have full HD displays, with this one, like I said before, being 3D. Phenomenal. Best 3D I have experienced pretty much on any TV or computer. I've got a Vizio XVT 3D 474, fantastic 3D. And also have a Panasonic ST50, which the 3D is just subpar. It's nothing special. But this right here, this computer, hands down, best 3D that I've seen. I don't consider myself to be like an expert when it comes down to viewing 3D, but I do know what good quality is. And there is absolutely no crosstalk from what I've seen in any of the movies that I've watched on this computer. No crosstalk whatsoever when viewing 3D movies and gaming on this computer. Phenomenal. And we'll see here, we'll look at the keyboard. It's got the backlit keyboard, kind of reminds you of the Alienware, glowing with the red. You can turn it off. I normally keep mine off, but just for the video, I turned it on, and I'll turn up the light so you can see just a little bit better. So you see here, you've got the glowing red backlit keyboard. So that's pretty nice, especially at night. I don't particularly care for it, but I mean, it does look cool, and I've gotten a lot of compliments when I take my laptop out. If you are able to take this computer out, it is extremely heavy. Like I said, I think since I've owned this computer, I use this at work, and I've carried it in a backpack. I've gained like 2 pounds of muscle on my leg just from carrying this computer around. It's very heavy. Much so like the adapter, the AC adapter. This is insane. I mean, this thing looks like an old, like, satellite receiver. I couldn't believe how big this box is. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's like huge. Let me find, just for comparison, I'll show you the Sony. I think that should bring it into perspective. That is my Vio AC adapter. That's the power brick for the Toshiba. I don't know what they were thinking, but they went back in time and got that monster. But with that being said, so that's a pretty first, just decent look at the computer. You can see here. Both of these are 1080p displays, and I would say that the Sony is one of my favorite. But this right here it's also a fantastic display. I mean, it's very vivid, very bright. Can't get as, I guess the contrast is just not as well, and the details are not seen as well in certain scenes. And I mean, they have two different color schemes when you just look at these computers, but both in their own rights, they do spectacular. Both are great to watch movies on. And this one specifically, 3D movies. And I bought this computer simply because it had 3D. I know this is a gaming laptop, but I'm really not much of a gamer. And so I know you think this is a waste, but if you love 3D as much as I do, a lot of people don't like 3D. I love 3D. This is definitely the computer to get. It comes with Toshiba's media player, so whenever you insert a DVD, Blu-ray, or 3D movie, it's automatically going to pop up the Toshiba media player, and it works phenomenal. I mean, it recognizes pretty much every format. I've actually ripped most of my 3D collections and saved them to my second hard drive. And we'll just see. We'll do Rise of the Guardians, because this was the best 3D movie. Just the snowflakes at the very beginning. It just looks great. I really doubt that I'll be able to show you 3D, but there you go. There's the Toshiba Blu-ray disc player. You can see that. Now the thing is, whenever the 3D is on, you'll see that little green light come on. And here on the side, there's a power button you have to press. And you press this, and you sync it, and you'll see the 3D kick in.
My name's Eek, and this is my family.
Yeah, that's pretty worthless. Me trying to show you that doesn't really make any sense.
Forever.
3 days is not...
But take my word for it, best 3D experience you're going to get anywhere on any media device that I have seen thus far. And if you're wondering how I ripped all of my collection, I'll show you that real quick as well, because I had a lot of questions from that last time I did my Sony. I used Blu-Ray Copy, which is free. You guys can see that. I use that to rip an ISO. You can rip the complete ISO, audio, and all of that. Exactly straight, just insert it, put it in, and do a rip. And like I said, it's still free. You have to be online, so you have to have an internet connection to use it. And I use Make MKV to do my Blu-ray movies, just my regular Blu-ray movies. And I have several movies in here. Let's find one quickly before my video runs out. Blu-ray movies will look at Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. We'll go down to the scene.
Take care of my daughter.
Get them.
So, and if you're hearing that, that's coming from the
Take her away.
internal speakers of this computer. These Harman Kardon speakers are phenomenal. I mean, they make you feel like you're in a small theater. And that's because they have this premium, what is it, SRS Premium 3D surround sound. And it's got the movie mode. It has the 3D mode, which is great for the 3D movies, especially with the headphones on. And they have the headphones or the external speakers. And I mean, it makes a huge difference. Real quick, let me try to pull up some music just to let you see how loud it can really get. I mean, it gets really loud and sounds phenomenal. Where's my song? I like Van Hunt, Dust. One of my favorite songs. That's about 80.
It's just another day, another episode. I'm hiding under the world.
Flawless sound. The sound is remarkable. Love this. So let's talk about everything that I like. I love the display. Love the 3D. Phenomenal. I love the keyboard. There is no, what's that, when it sinks in, I'm not sure what they call it, but there's none of that. It does get a little greasy, but still, I do love this. I love the keyboard. Let's talk about what I hate. I hate the weight of this keyboard. This keyboard is extremely heavy. Talk about battery life. Battery life on this computer essentially is non-existent. If you're buying this, buy another battery pack, because unfortunately, Toshiba does not have an extended battery pack. You would think that they would make at least some kind of extension, because this thing lasts maybe an hour. It does have what's called the E-Gold E-Repeat, which is supposed to help it, but the battery life still sucks, and it basically turns the display down to like the very lowest setting, so you can really barely see it because it's so dim. So I hate the battery life. I hate the weight of the computer. Love how it looks. I love the aesthetics of it. But overall, this is a great laptop. I've done light gaming on it, although I did not buy this for gaming. It can handle it perfectly. Blu-ray is beautiful. Super speed USB. Everything is great about this computer. So that's just a pretty good look at the Toshiba Qosmio X875-7390. Buy it. It's going to cost you about $2,100. Fantastic computer. You'll love it. It's going to be around here for a long time because of the specs. So great investment. There you go.